Now on Denver 7 News at 6, recommendations for kids and COVID are changing just before we head back to school.
I'm Denver 7's Colette Bordelon. Parents, I'm helping you prepare for new rules when it comes to protecting your kids from COVID in the classroom.
The suspect in a horrific racist attack is still on the loose in Aurora.
I'm Denver 7's Veronica Acosta. I talked with that victim who's still really shaken from the entire ordeal. Why he says he's worried this could happen again.
A great deal if you're looking to get outside. All of our national parks, including Colorado's own Rocky Mountain National Park, are free, but you have to act fast.
And it's a phrase Russell Wilson just can't stop saying.
Broncos country, let's ride.
But let's ride isn't exclusive to Broncos country anymore. The other NFL player taking it for his own team. Yeah, not to mention a rival of the Broncos. So
wow.
He should have coined that phrase and made some money off of it or something.
Let's ride is ours.
And it's gotten the Broncos country energized for this season, but we'll talk about who else is using it coming up. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Jessica Crawford. Katie LaSalle is here with a look at the forecast.
Good morning, you guys, and happy Thursday. It's a really pretty start to our morning. Once again, across the Front Range, a lot of sunshine, calm conditions with temperatures in the 60s from Littleton up through Thornton into Arvada, 40s and 50s off to our west into the high country. So if you're out walking the dogs this morning, by 8 o'clock climbing to 73 degrees. We'll warm quickly though by 11:85, and daytime highs, we're back to some high heat here over the metro area for this afternoon. We'll be in the upper 90s, Inglewood up through Brighton, out to the airport, down through Congress Park. So try and stay cool out there today. If you're heading to the west, Evergreen at 84 degrees and around 10,000 feet. Our temperatures will be topping out in the low 70s today, and more thunderstorm and shower activity is set to arrive over higher terrain. It'll mainly be dry though for the northeastern corner of Colorado. Most of the storm activity west and south of Metro Denver. Be prepared for some hot days both today and tomorrow. Jason, we're back to the upper 90s on Friday.
And I am just spotting this big problem up to the north side of town. I've been tracking it for a few minutes here in this northbound side of I-25 up by Northwest Parkway after 144th before you get to Highway 7. Take a look from the camera there and you can see we have a full rollover of a truck here sitting on its side. So they are allowing one lane to get through. That would be just after Northwest Parkway. That lane would actually let you get up to Highway 7, but you see most of the highway is all blocked up with this rollover crash. I don't have any details on how the driver is doing from this crash, but you see the ambulances there, and they're going to tend to the people that were hurt in this wreck. But right now, we have some significant delays. You can also see another car involved there, so we're going to see an extra 5 minutes at least going northbound I-25 up to Northwest Parkway. And we also still have some construction delays out there on Pena Boulevard heading out from the airport down to 56th.
Any day now, we could get an update on COVID-19 guidelines from the CDC. That includes inside our schools, as we are days away now from the first kids going back to class in Douglas County, where the virus has actually divided the district, and many parents and students have been protesting mask mandates and other safety measures. Denver 7's Colette Bordelon is live to explain what the changes are expected from the CDC and what it means for our return to school.
Brian, I'm in Highlands Ranch this morning outside of Sand Creek Elementary School. It's part of the Douglas County School District where, like you said, they're the first ones headed back to school this year. It's right around the corner, first day on Monday. But this is the same district where the fight over masking actually led to dissolve a regional health department that had been in place for more than 50 years. DougCo updated their COVID plans in January and notes the old CDC guidance that will soon be outdated. CNN got a preview of the expected plans from the CDC. They report it'll ease quarantine recommendations for people exposed to the virus and won't have such an emphasis on the 6 feet rule for social distancing. It could also remove a recommendation that came during that first Omicron wave, where students exposed would take regular tests to stay in the classroom. There's also an expected push for schools to focus on their ventilation, encouraging more clean air inside of buildings. Those changes are still being worked on, meaning they're not final as of this morning. CNN reports the changes could be publicly released by this week, though. Of course, different cities, states, places, they can all follow different plans. These recommendations are really just guidance from the CDC. This is the first school year where those COVID-19 vaccines are available for all school-age kids, but here in Douglas County, those vaccines are not required for students or staff. Live in Highlands Ranch, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Colette, thank you. It can be tough to keep up with these COVID rules kind of changing over the years. We'll have special back-to-school coverage all next week to help everybody be as prepared as possible for the new school year. The Department of Homeland Security plans to give an update on monkeypox today and how the Biden administration is responding to the outbreak. More than 25,000 cases have been reported globally. About a quarter of those are right here in the U.S., including 5 kids. While the White House has yet to declare it a national emergency, President Biden appointed 2 top federal officials to oversee the nation's monkeypox response. Denver's Department of Public Health is monitoring monkeypox exposure at the Diamond Cabaret. Health officials say the strip club has been fully cooperative throughout the process. They confirmed a case of monkeypox in mid-July and have notified staff members who had close contact with an infected employee. There have been 75 confirmed cases of monkeypox in Colorado this year, and of those, 55 of them are in Denver.
Aurora police are still looking for this man who tried to light 2 people on fire simply because they were speaking Spanish. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta sat down with one of those victims. Can't imagine what they're going through after a simple trip to the gas station turned into this horrific attack.
It was supposed to be a really quick trip, just a 5-minute stop there at that gas station to fill up and then head back home. They're actually staying in Greeley right now. But both of those men tell me that they're still really shaken up. They've actually only been in the U.S. for about 4 months now. They came here from Colombia to try and expand their business that they have back at home. Again, that stop at that gas station, supposed to be a quick one. Instead, the victim I spoke with had gasoline doused on him. He had his keys stolen, even a rock thrown through his back window. And a gas station employee who rolled into work that night right as that suspect was leaving, he got to see all of that unfold on surveillance video. He told me he was shocked and, of course, really upset by what he saw.
I play music in the store most of the time in Spanish. I speak Spanish to most of the customers, and for them to feel or see that, you know, someone got poured gas on them for just speaking Spanish is very, very frightening, you know.
Now, unfortunately, this isn't the first time something like this has happened in Aurora. The police department set up a bias-motivated unit last year to investigate hate crimes and actually arrest the people who commit them. Take a look at these numbers. Just over the last 6 months, this was of last year, there were just under 20 hate crimes reported to Aurora PD. Those included crimes against a person's race and sexual orientation. And this year, those numbers are actually even higher. Aurora police have responded to 23 hate crimes in the last 7 months. Now, as for the suspect in that gas station attack, take a look at this photo on your screen. That's the man that police say they really need some help not only finding but also identifying this morning. You're also seeing a picture of the vehicle they say he drove off in, that dark sedan. Now, anyone with information, they're being asked to call Aurora PD detectives. You can call them at 303-627-1661. If you'd rather send an email, you can also do that. The email address to do that at is stophate@auroragov.org. In Denver, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Yeah, so glad his plan was foiled one way or another. Now we got to find him. Thank you, Veronica. Denver police are looking for witnesses in a deadly crash on I-25. A man was hit by multiple cars on the northbound side near Downing Street. Police have not identified him. Investigators are also working to identify one vehicle that did not stay at the scene.
New gun ordinances are still on hold in Superior. A hearing scheduled for today has been pushed off to November. Last month, a federal judge granted a temporary restraining order. Superior passed bans on assault weapons, high-capacity magazines, and ghost guns. The group Rocky Mountain Gun Owners sued the town over the ordinances. Several Aurora families are out of their homes after a fire. It happened on Whitaker Drive, just a few blocks from Quincy Reservoir. It's an older neighborhood with big trees that have been growing there for years, just towering over the houses. But neighbors say yesterday the flames towered over even the trees. Robert Lees has called this neighborhood home off and on for decades. When he realized what was happening, he dialed 911 and wet the nearby lawn. Meanwhile, neighbors ran toward the flames.
I also grabbed my hose, I turned it on, I just started getting stuff wet. I'm like, whatever it takes, you know, to help stop, whatever. I'm gonna do that part. Other neighbors are breaking into the homes, knocking down doors, trying to make sure everyone is okay. To me, that was the best thing out of this whole rotten tragedy, was to see how the community came together and really helped each other out.
Aurora fire investigators are working to figure out how this fire even started.
Hiking at Rocky Mountain National Park is now more accessible. You can rent an all-terrain wheelchair for free. This is what it looks like. It has off-road wheels, it has levered handles and also push handles on the back. If friends need to assist you, you can reserve one of these wheelchairs by calling the Estes Park Mountain Shop. And you get free admission to Rocky Mountain National Park and all other national parks today for free. You still have to pay for amenity and user fee activities like camping or boat launching, but the free entrance is to celebrate the Great American Outdoors Act, which was passed back in 2020. Katie is here to tell us if it's a good day to be out hiking.
Brian, it's going to be a great day to get out to places like Rocky Mountain National Park. Cool and clear this morning. Very few storms are expected over our northern and central Front Range mountains for today. Most of the moisture will stay down south of the I-70 corridor. Just a 10% possibility with some big heat building to round out the week.
And it's a tough go of it trying to get out of Thornton and go north up to Erie or Longmont on northbound I-25. You can see this truck that's rolled over. We had another car in here. It was all smashed up. I could see all the airbags deployed in there. So pretty violent collision. And you can see that it's going to take a while to clear up this and the fuel spill with just one lane open. Traffic's already backed up to 144th. I'll have some options for you to get around this one coming up.
Have you ever sent a text message by mistake? Well, one could cost a radio host $150 million. And we're all looking for a great deal, but two retailers are paying up for selling products too dangerous for babies.
And Russell Wilson's first game as a Bronco, regular season at least, will be back at his home stadium in Seattle, Old Home Stadium. That might be good for us, though, what a study says about athletes playing against their former teams.